Hi guys, as requested I'm going to review a video by Good Eatings. I already reviewed a video first some years ago. It's called Recipes for Gut Health, Vegan What I Eat in a Day.
Welcome back to another What I Eat in a Day video here on the channel.
For a healthy and happy gut.
This time I thought I'd share some dishes we like to make that can promote a healthy gut and share some tips on how I take care of my rather tricky stomach. One of the things that really helps me feel my best is to...
A tricky stomach? That's so uncommon for vegans. I wonder why. We'll see.
Drink enough throughout the day, and in the mornings I often drink a glass of water when I wake up, followed by some herbal tea or an infusion.
Oh, that's great. Herbal tea. It's wonderful for your gut. Green poisons, anti-nutrients, which destroy your gut microbiome.
Here I'm making some fennel tea
How does that look like it's good for your gut?
that's actually known for aiding in digestion. While my tea steeps, I'm making a fiber-rich breakfast, as getting enough fiber is another thing that is really important.
She has this weird filter on her videos, just like last time. Is it to change the color of her skin? Because she looks very anemic.
For a healthy gut, I'm making my favorite quick and easy spread to pop onto an open-faced sandwich, and I start by just breaking up some cooked chickpeas, and I add some cubed avocado to my bowl as well. Avocado is actually surprisingly rich in fiber. Then for a little bit more kick, I'm going in
Yeah, and fiber is something you don't want to eat if you have a tricky gut, as you said.
with some green onion that I just slice up finely. Eating raw onions is actually food for the good bacteria in the gut.
What? What? It would be one thing if you would cook them, because then you destroy the poisons, but if you eat raw onions, then you're consuming antibiotics. Literally, you're literally destroying your gut microbiome. It's the worst thing you could possibly do.
It's considered a prebiotic. Sometimes I also add fresh herbs here, but I didn't have any on hand, but it's a great tip if you want to make this spread. Then I squeeze in some lemon juice to brighten it all up.
Fresh herbs would be even more toxic. Thankfully, you don't have them. And lemon juice is also an antibiotic because of how acidic it is.
And I add some nutritional yeast for a little bit of a cheesy flavor before seasoning with salt.
Cheesy flavor. She's a vegan, but she wants her food to be cheesy. Yeah, that's because if you would eat tons of cheese instead of all of this poisonous green garbage, then your gut would actually get healthy. Yeah, cheese is not ideal, but compared to what she's eating, it would be literally 100 times better.
And black pepper. The full measurements.
Black pepper is also incredibly bad for your gut. You're doing everything wrong here.
For this recipe is on my website, so I'll make sure to link that down below if you want to make it.
Why would somebody go on your website and recreate your recipes if your gut is so messed up? It doesn't make any sense. Why would somebody who's sick give advice to people?
And like to have proper measurements. So when everything is in the bowl, you just mash it up until you reach a consistency that you like. You can make
It looks like you're craving cheese or an omelette. You are craving cheese, obviously. You admitted it.
it more homogeneous, or like me, leave some chunks. Then to assemble the sandwich, I've toasted
Whole grain bread. Proper whole seeds in there. Very healthy, right?
some of my favorite bread. It's a gluten-free whole grain bread, but of course any bread would do. It definitely doesn't need to be gluten-free. And on top of this bread, I'm also going to add some sauerkraut. Sauerkraut basically means sour cabbage, and it's fermented cabbage.
Man, it's so cute that these vegans try to heal their gut by eating sauerkraut, even though really it does nothing to you. Nothing good anyway.
And fermented foods contain probiotics, which adds healthy bacteria.
Fermented plant foods don't contain probiotics, it's only prebiotics. Only animal foods contain probiotics, especially fermented animal foods. Humans always used to ferment animal foods. In China, they do those fermented eggs. Not so much nowadays, but they used to at least. In Japan, there's tons of fermented animal foods.
That your gut loves to your diet. And the sandwich, of course. And then to just finish that off, I top it off with a little bit of extra spring onions. And I'm also going to have a kiwi on the
Fruits are usually not a problem, but kiwis are quite high in oxalates. And seeing as you're already eating so much green garbage, you should stay away from kiwis.
side. I always like a bit of fruit in the morning. It's just a preference thing.
You would be much better off if you would only eat the fruit, seeing as the fiber would be much easier on your gut. Looking good. Yeah. Oh man. She's in the top 3 of the unhealthiest people I've seen in my whole life. I'm not joking. I'm not saying this at all to offend her. It just is what it is.
Along with my breakfast, I usually take my supplements as well when I remember. I'm not the best at this, but Rob helps me. And the one thing that's especially good for the gut is taking a probiotic. As someone who deals with...
Yeah, pills. Yeah, those have probiotics, yeah? Where did you learn this? Does it say that on the package? Like, why do you believe that?
IBS, this has really helped me. Another supplement that I take on a regular...
You have IBS because you eat a vegan diet. Hello? Nobody who eats not necessarily only meat, but mostly animal products has IBS. It's impossible. IBS isn't some random thing. IBS is caused by plants.
Regular basis that can have good effects on the gut is some omega, and I use an omega-3 tablet that is made from algae. So with breakfast, I mentioned the benefits of fiber, which are...
She's so incredibly brainwashed, man. It's painful to watch this video. It's actually painful.
Are totally true, but I also just wanted to say that for me personally, more fiber isn't always the best thing, as I'm someone who suffers from IBS, and on average...
Yeah, and all plant foods have fiber. That's why you shouldn't be eating a vegan diet. I don't get it. Do you not think about this? You literally just said out loud that fiber is a problem for you, yet you eat a vegan diet where every food has fiber. I mean, seriously.
Eat a high in fiber diet, focusing on mainly whole foods while eating a vegan or plant-based diet will do this for you pretty much automatically, which is great in most cases, but funnily enough, it's one of the things that can cause a little bit of a kerfuffle for my stomach. And what I'm trying to say is that not all guts are created equal, but the tips that I'm giving here is...
Well, yeah, all guts are created equal, as in they should be naturally. Yes, as children, babies, we don't get the right foods nowadays, especially if you're not breastfed long enough, and then our guts may be different, but still, everybody's going to feel the best if they eat pretty much only animal foods, except for some seasonal fruit.
General advice that works well for many people, and the truth is that most people don't get enough fiber on average. And the recommended amount...
Yeah, we have an absolute fiber deficiency, right? It's not at all as if over 90% of people eat a diet which is over 80% plants. No. We don't get enough fiber, yeah.
Amount is to get about 25 to 30 grams per day. Like I said, usually I exceed this by a bit just by eating a varied plant-based diet though. So it's very simple that way. And another thing that I try to eat more of recently, which can have a great...
I feel so sorry for her, man. I'm not really laughing. It's more like I just feel really sad for her. But it's just funny to watch somebody being so brainwashed. It's sad, but like it's so sad that it becomes kind of funny because I don't know what to say really.
Impact on your gut is eating fermented foods, and you saw in my breakfast that I added some sauerkraut, which is really yummy but also very easily accessible here in Sweden, so it's a favorite of ours. And you'll see that...
Yeah, being vegan in Sweden, that's totally normal.
I'm using fermented foods in all my meals today in some way. I thought for this video it could be fun to show you how I like to get them into my day in different ways. And usually...
I really don't believe that you have any fun in your life, in any of your days.
I don't eat them for all my meals in a day though, just to clarify. But I thought why not when I was doing my grocery run leading up to filming this for you guys. Beyond what we eat, there are of course other things that affect our guts as well. And for me, regular movement like walking and going to the gym to attend the classes that speak to me.
How the hell does she manage to go to the gym?
As well as finding ways to reduce stress are the two most important for feeling good in my day-to-day. And as some...
Wait, did she just say that she does that to reduce the stress in her life? Did I understand it correctly? Because going to the gym is one of the most stressful things you could possibly do.
Someone who does struggle with IBS, I can notice the effects of stress, especially on my stomach, quite immediately, and reducing stress is something I try to do most days through meditation or yoga, or just...
Meditation is good for it, yeah.
Being mindful in general. And lately I've also been using a new little device to help me relax. And I'm using brown rice today as it's richer in fiber and in other nutrients.
She uses brown rice, which is the worst kind of rice you could possibly use. Also, the red rice, you shouldn't use rice which has the shell on it. We removed the shell for a reason. White rice is the best kind of rice. You already have IBS? I don't get it. What is she doing? Why does she hate herself? She's trying to completely destroy her life, her health.
As well, the white rice works just as well, just so you know. Before I get started though, I just wanted to say that there might be some of you out there that won't think the kimchi I'm using really looks like kimchi, and that's because the only vegan-friendly kimchi I could find was this one in our supermarket, and it's actually using shredded Savoy cabbage rather than the regular larger pieces of Napa cabbage that's traditionally used. Just a little FYI before we get started. And I also like to include some tofu in my fried rice as well, just to get a good source of protein in there.
What the hell has happened? Oh my god, man, what the hell has happened to Europe? In Sweden and Swedish women, man, it's incredibly sad.
Well, I'm going to start by chopping up some tofu that I bought pre-marinated from the store just to add some extra flavor. The tofu I'm using here is marinated with soy sauce and basil, and maybe basil isn't the herb you'd normally associate with kimchi. It still works, it's not a very strong flavor, but it's really good with smoked tofu if you have that on hand, or any tofu that is just kind of savory. I like to chop my tofu up in cubes, and then I also chop up some garlic finely.
What the hell are you doing? Oh my god. Tofu, phytoestrogens, oh my god, so bad for you. And then garlic, which is an antibiotic and completely destroys your gut. Who taught her this? Where did she learn this, man? It's like she's making a parody. How to destroy your gut, how to cause IBS. It's really weird.
While I'm doing my prep, which is pretty minimal for this recipe, I also slice up some spring onion just to have on hand for a topping later on. When I'm ready to start cooking the fried rice, I like to add some oil to a skillet, and when it's hot I add in my tofu cubes, and I like to just fry them on all sides until they golden, and then
I think that was olive oil, which is the worst kind of oil you could possibly use for cooking.
Push them to one side so that I can fry off the garlic just for a minute or so until it softens and releases its aroma. Then to add more depth and...
At least she cooks the garlic, then she doesn't get really that many of those toxins.
Heat, I'm going in with some gochujang, which is a Korean red chili paste. You can find it in the Asian supermarket, or here in Sweden, you can find it in most large supermarkets these days. Next I'm adding in a healthy amount of my kimchi. As you can see, mine is chopped really finely, but normally it would have really nice big chunks of Napa cabbage, which is very nice in this fried rice. But unfortunately not all kimchi is vegan, as traditionally it has fish sauce, so this variety was the only one I could find. But when
yeah, which is great. Pretty much every traditional food has animal foods included.
For a creamy topping, I like to add half of a small avocado to each serving. I just slice it up and pop it on top of the rice, and then I sprinkle my pre-sliced spring onions over.
The green color doesn't even fit. She probably in her head believes that it's some kind of animal food meal that she's going to eat. That's what her brain, her senses believe. At least it had some kind of color which would indicate animal foods, but the green is just completely off.
That. Then my last and probably favorite topping are these fried seaweed sprinkles. I find them in the supermarket. They are marketed as a Korean condiment. I'm personally not quite sure whether this usually goes on kimchi fried rice, but I really like it on there. I think it adds a...
Alright, so she's eating kimchi fried rice. Rice only has carbohydrates and fiber. That's it. It's just nothing. No micronutrients whatsoever. Avocado has some plant vitamin E, some minerals, potassium and whatnot, some pretty much useless plant oils. The monounsaturated oils are a little bit useful, but of course humans are made out of saturated animal fat for the most part, our cells. The spices which she uses are all antibiotics for the most part, and the kimchi could be a prebiotic if you would make it properly, but the kimchi that they make nowadays is obviously not how it used to be. I doubt that it's really beneficial. I would say that it's pointless at best, but most likely actually harmful because of all of these spicy ingredients.
Nice little umami touch. In the afternoon, after I've spent countless minutes watching my cute cat sleep, I like to make a pick-me-up snack, and I often make smoothies. Like I mentioned before, there are certain foods that contain compounds that are great for...
Her body is absolutely screaming for animal foods. It's insane.
These are usually called prebiotics, and one of those foods are bananas, so my regular smoothie is already helping my gut stay healthy. This one right here is one of my go-tos. Beyond the banana, it has some milled flax seeds, some frozen blueberries, some frozen spinach, almond butter today. Sometimes I use peanut butter, and also some cinnamon, which is meant to help your blood sugar stay level. Then I usually go for oat milk or soy milk, depending on my mood.
Great. Sugar, fiber, and anti-nutrients which destroy the gut from the almond butter. Looks like blood a little bit. Oh, I bet how she would want that right now.
Time, and for dinner we're going to make something that we really enjoy making when we have a lot of produce on hand. And right now a lot of produce is on sale because we're changing seasons into spring here, so different kind of veggies are coming into the store and is a better price than they have been for basically 6 months. So what we're going to do is prepare like a...
Yeah, because you need to import them. You live in Sweden. Nothing grows there in winter. Most of the year, really. It's way too cold. You should be eating wild-caught fish, reindeer, and all the good stuff.
A little messy style dinner with little different dishes that we can just pop onto our plates and enjoy. So I'm going to prep some veg in a really simple ways, and the things that are coming into the shop now that's at a better price are things like asparagus. This is really one of our favorite things to eat, but we only really eat it in spring. So
it's not one of your favorite things to eat. It's the favorite thing that you eat while following your religion, which is called veganism. In reality, one of your favorite things to eat would be cheese. That's why you used the nutritional yeast before. It would be a big fat steak and so on. That's what you really want, right? Don't lie.
So very excited for those, and at the moment I'm also really enjoying courgette. I'm gonna fry that up. And then one of my all-time favorites, and also in my family something that we've always eaten in the spring, is fresh cabbage. I mean, cabbage is...
I've never heard a human being say that one of their favorite foods is cabbage.
Available here all year round, but this one is so much more tender and succulent, and it's really good prepped just as a basic, very simple salad. So I'll show you what we usually do with that. And I've also got some radish. This is my dad's favorite, actually. As a kid, when I went with him to the store when these were abundant, as they're starting to become here in Sweden now during spring, he would just eat these in the store, and then he would tell the cashier to press it down when he came to the cashier to actually pay for them, because they used to weigh them. Now we buy them with the prices just per bunch, but anyways, it's just a funny side story. Just a little bit embarrassing when you're a teenager. Anyways, for the fermented element in this dinner, it's not a dish, dinner spread, we're going to eat some of the...
She seems really cute and sweet, just incredibly misinformed, I guess.
These fermented pickles, they're just lacto-fermented veggies like turnip, beetroot, there's some kohlrabi in here, and they turn this beautiful pink color, of course, from the beetroot. And I have a recipe for this on my website, so I'll link it down below. I also made this in a video several years ago now with my friend Agata. So I'll link it here somewhere if you want to check it out.
Sweden.
It's very easy to make and very yummy, so that will just go as part of the spread. And then there will be a few other elements, but it will all be clear in a moment. When making meals like this, I like to start by prepping everything that doesn't need cooking. That way I can get the things that are actually cooked onto the table fast so that they're nice and fresh. So for this, I'm creating a board with some olives as well as...
Olives are really, really hard to digest. The bloating that she has must be insane.
My fermented pickles. I'm also adding a good bowl of hummus that I like to top with a little bit of these garlic and sesame seed sprinkles. For something to dip into that hummus, I add some crackers, and I'm also adding this tempeh that's smoked.
Nah man, this is not right. This is starvation. It's worse than peasant food. You can only be malnourished if you eat this.
Then just before serving, I drizzle it with a little bit of lemon juice and sprinkle it with some sea salt flakes. Here I'm using smoked ones because they're nice and I have them on hand. And that concludes what I had in mind for this snack dinner or meze.
If I would eat so much fiber, I would also get IBS as an irritable bowel syndrome. And it's funny that she cooked the asparagus and the zucchini so much. The zucchini already looks brown, and that's because she's trying to imitate actual food as in animal foods. If you would actually be into these man-made plants, which are not found in nature, then you would of course simply eat them raw. You would be attracted to the green color, the smell of it, the texture and everything. As a plant-eating animal should be, they are naturally attracted to it, but you're not at all.
Style-inspired dinner, if you will. And to go with it, I'm pouring some homemade kombucha. Rob has become super at making our kombucha at home. This one had
Okay, maybe that's the only good thing that she actually eats or drinks in this case. In this day of eating, kombucha can be quite nice, although it's probably not really beneficial for her anyway.
passion fruit in it. Again, this is a great fermented food to add to your day if you want to get some more prebiotics into you. And this type of meal is also really great for adding variety. So with that, I thank you all very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.
This was very sad to watch, and that's because besides the typical problems that vegans get because of malnutrition, and that's because plants don't have over 50 nutrients, she suffers even more. And that's because she, I guess, randomly believes that she somehow got IBS. I don't know what's going on in her head exactly, but she clearly understands that the more fiber she eats, the worse she feels. Yet she consumes even more fiber, which makes her feel even worse. It's really strange. You would think that a normal human being would simply come to this conclusion, cut out all of the fiber, or at least most of it, and then see how you feel. And of course you would feel incredibly much better within days, most certainly within weeks. It would just be such a great video to see one day if she would say that she quit veganism and now eats mostly animal foods. Her skin tone would be different. She would then say that she doesn't have all of this pain in her gut anymore. She's not bloated all day. She generally feels happier and so on. It would be so great, but I guess that is just a dream. Thanks for watching.